What's going on, guys? I'll give it a few seconds for people to come in and do a quick weekend overview, what to expect for Monday. So, real quick, this is where we are on the S&P 500. You can see that we are it's our third time back to the November and October lows. We kind of came off of that on Monday, and we got a whole lot of just a whole lot of buying at the end of the day, and I'm pretty sure we're going to end up popping up pretty soon, probably back up to this 200 moving average, and then we'll come back down again. So what that would look like is we're probably going to come up, pop up, come down, pop up again, come back all the way down, pop up, so we're going to keep doing this sideways down thing until we have enough support on the bottom, or there's some policy that comes out, some news event that will have us going higher. Yeah, market will. You think market's gonna drop pre-open? I think it's gonna go up pre-open, to be honest, but I guess we'll find out in about an hour or so. At 8 p.m. Eastern today. What, at 8 p.m. Eastern today? I don't know what that means. Um, okay. Well, I think at some point we're going to come back up. Um, but I think we're probably going to pop up. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. This is crude oil, and if you guys want me to have any requests, I'll certainly chart it out for you. This is crude oil. You can see this purple area up here is the historic highs for oil. So at 8 p.m. Eastern time, the market opens. Oh, okay, maybe for you, it opens at 9:30 for me, New York time. So, um, now, let's see. If we go back and look at crude oil, you're going to see that in 2022 we were at this level as well, and it can't really stay here that long. It does drop rather quickly. So, I'm looking for crude oil to come back down again, and that will be a pretty nice play for me to bet oil back down. It's going to be one of the more lucrative plays of the year. It's pretty high probability. Um, yeah, I mean, I know for me, well, it's really at around 5:30 to 6 o'clock. The futures market opens in Sydney, or the actual market opens in Sydney, and that's really when we'll get some area of when the market will open. So somewhere around 5 to 6 p.m. New York time, where we'll see it open. Um, but let's take a look around, right? So this is Apple. Apple, we are at these three, okay, levels. And it'll be interesting to see, because right at this level is also a 200 moving average on the daily. So that's going to be right over here. This yellow line is the daily 200 moving average. So we are right at that right here, right now. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, I did this play at the end of the day on Friday. I bought 2 calls and 1 put. So regardless, the worst case I think that can happen to me is I break even, and the best case is I'm going to make a few $100s if Apple pops up to these moving averages within the next few days. So that's called a straddle, where you buy a call and a put at the same time. Um, but again, a lot of people in my group are absolute beginners, so it's really just a process of getting them to the an advanced level, which I do for all of them, because I really have a pretty good one-on-one relationship with all of them. Um, I never understood why people would join a group just to be crammed in with everyone else and just be like, good luck. It never made sense to me. Like, if someone's gonna join, like, I want to make sure that they're doing well. Um, because then it's just a waste of time for everyone. This is Nvidia. You could send me $20 If you send me 15, I'll send you 20. What? Um, you can see NVIDIA every time it gets into this area will go up, every time. Um, so if we go lower, I think it'll still pop back up. So this is another play I had for NVIDIA. I did a call and a put at the same time. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 times it's gotten to this area and then it's popped back up. So if you actually look at the fear and greed index, you're going to see we're at a 15 right now. And this is one of the only indicators that's always has been correct. So, um, no, what? What? What level is that for NVIDIA? That is about 170 to 172. Also, you could go on YouTube and see my full chart right now. So I'm streaming on YouTube as well. So if you're on Instagram and you can't really see anything, then you could go on YouTube and you could see the entire chart. It'd probably look a lot easier for you instead of just watching this on your phone. Um, but yeah, it's about 170 to 172 for Nvidia right around this area. But if you look again, the fear and greed index is at 15. That's unbelievable. Anything under 10, you should really start to buy more aggressively. The only problem here is that if you look at the entire market, let's go back to something like the S&P 500. You're going to see we're below the 200 moving average now for the first time in a really long time. The last time we've been below this 200 moving average, it was last year, last April, during the tariff crunch, whatever you want to call it. So right now we're kind of curling back over, and we are at this support level, as you can see over here. On a local level, we are at support. So it'll be interesting to see if it breaks this level or not this week. So I know some people were actually buying end of day on Friday, got some major buys. Um, on Trader Daddy Pro, we reconfigured a lot of data, like Cheddar Flow or bubble market maps or whatever it's called for order flow. We just have our own order flow that we made for ourselves. I mean, you guys can also have it if you want, but it tells the top flow for the top 10 charts outside of the Mag 7 and gold and silver. And we also have the most unusual big money whale plays that are coming in. So live unusual options activity. SMCI was going straight down the entire day. That was there. You could see all of this SMCI the last minute of the day. Wow, the entire last five. Look at this. All of this SMCI took up the entire last minute. SMCI had their fourth accounting scandal, and it dropped. I made a video about this 3 months ago of why I would never touch this stock. All of their accountants quit on the same day. So again, that's why I just would never touch this. Let me see what else people were doing late on Friday. MSTR. And a lot of people were betting SPY down, S&P 500 down, probably as a hedge. Dell they were betting it up. So it's always good to see what the big money flow of money is like. QQQ, we had sort of a mix, but 20 million was bet down. So that's pretty interesting. Any other requests or anything I could take for sure. So if you guys have any other requests, I could look at anything that you guys want me to look at. This is Tesla. It broke the triangle line. Tesla came all the way back down to the level where Elon bought it, which was around right here. So this is actually a pretty good level that it came down to. Now it's either going to come down to about 350, which it probably is, and then I would see probably bouncing off of that back up again. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have any other ones that you guys want to see, let me know. This is silver. This is what I think is going to happen to silver. Here's our big drop that we had a few months ago. We had price now come down a lot the last week, but here's our support level around $65. And then if silver comes back, up and down in this low area, eventually I think we're going to get back up to the 80s. And that was going to be like at least a 200% options trade for SLV for silver. VIX calls or nah? It's hard, right? Because the market's moving so fast in each direction. The VIX is already elevated. So where do you want it to go? Right? This is the VIX, right? Like where is this going? We're already at the height of the VIX, the localized height. One, two, three, four times, right? So where do you want this to go? You know, I'd play it back down. If we get back up to this area, I'd buy puts on the VIX to go back down, but that's about it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The other thing is, um, just generally looking at USO to play oil here. Um, Playing this back down 30% is going to yield some pretty big money. So if you go to USO, just to show you how much money you could make here, um, going to an October put, you have all the way till October, right? It's at $647 for one put. Okay. How much money could you make if it goes down 30%? You would make you would make over $1,000 pure profit, just pure profit off of that play. So I don't know. It's just a really high probability play. I don't see where you could go wrong there. And you could take your profits out whenever you want. You don't have to wait till October. I also highlighted Uber yesterday because if you look at the channel here, look, this is one, two, three, four. It's about the fourth or fifth time that Uber has come back down into this area. So Uber has partnerships with everyone now. Uber has partnerships with Tesla, with Rivian, with Nvidia. Um, they're getting into the robotaxi business, which is interesting, is that the drivers who built the company for Uber are now going to be replaced by self-driving cars. So yeah, Uber's not going anywhere. I think it's a really good level. To get Uber at 73, it'll be more than 100 at some point, pretty soon. So that would be like a 30, maybe 25 to 30% play. So it's not like Uber's going anywhere. But if you guys have anything else that you guys want to look at, I'll definitely look at it for you. Um, we can take a look at Amazon. It hasn't really gone anywhere, but this is a nice little setup for it to drop even more, right? And I'll show you guys. This is what a reversal looks like. See these candles here? These big wicks on top? This is going to come back down again to this two, sorry, 200 level. So Amazon's going to come down to this 200 level, and then it's most likely going to bounce back off again. So, it would look like this. Here, 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 and then back up. So that's the entry right here for Amazon. Um, Anything else that you guys want me to look at? Any idea of investments in oil? Just looking at YouTube. AI, real estate? CVX, XOM, and Oxy. So CVX is Chevron. I've been saying to buy this for a while. Um, I think this is going to go higher, but you want to buy this at closer to this 20 moving average, obviously. So at some point, whenever, because every time it gets close to the 20 moving average, it's a pretty good place as an entry. I said at the beginning of the year, oil stocks were going to go up the entire year. It was one of the easiest industries to possibly get into, just with what's going around in the world. Like, how could you not buy oil stocks? Like we're literally told what to buy on a weekly basis, and some people just refuse to acknowledge it. Like the blueprint's already given there for you every day. So oil stocks, that was an easy one. I like XOM and Oxy. I have both of those. So um, ExxonMobil. Yeah, as long as we can keep this momentum going higher, I think that's going to be good. I also had option calls on XLE, which is the ETF of all of the oil stocks. And you could see I played each one of these breakouts with my group. Um, because this industry was only going to go higher, But the problem is now you're buying it 3 months later. You need it to at least retrace back down to a 20 moving average once for it to be effective. What was the other one here? AI. I mean, AI and real estate, oil, AI, real estate. Well, I went through oil. I mean, the oil also, I'm going to be betting oil prices down. So that's going to be through USO to bet this back down. AI and real estate. Let's see. If you do, yeah, I'm going to get back. AI, I'd probably do um, Google and Nvidia for the long term and Meta. Smaller AI stocks, they're getting crushed right now. I would love for BBAI to, find some localized support and then come back up again. I would play it again. But right now we're breaking down. So and for real estate, um let me get back to you. I have some ideas, but for real estate, let me get back to you. If you would do a QQQ puts, does that mean you could also do SQQQ calls? They're the same exact thing. QQQ puts. You could also do SQQQ calls. Yeah. SQQQ is the opposite. So SQQQ just means if the market moves down, SQQQ moves up times two or times three. So you could buy calls on this to hedge against everything. And we're actually really high recently for this. So, but yeah, same exact thing. MSTR. People love MSTR. MSTR and silver are like the two things I get asked about the most. Um, it's either people missed out on it last time and they don't this time. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, there's 3 or 4 different ways to play Bitcoin, right? You could play Bitcoin through MSTR, you could play it through Mara, you could play it through BITF, you could play it through IBIT. So there's a few different ways you could play it. Or Riot maybe is another one you could do, Riot. But there's a bunch of different ways to play Bitcoin. But I'd only play MSTR if Bitcoin is above the 50 moving average, which is right here. See this 50 moving average right here? It needs to be above that price. And that price, it needs to stay above 70,000 right now or just below 69 or 68. So, yeah. Anything else? As soon as Venezuela took off. Yeah, exactly. We need more. We need next week's best plays. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going to be doing with my group tonight. If you want to join it, let me know. What about Microsoft? I literally spend like an hour and a half with my group coming up with the best plays for this week. Um, yeah, I'm getting a lot of messages about Microsoft. We have a good level here. As long as it stays here, we should be fine. Um, let's see. We are at a 30% decrease, 30% off on Microsoft right now. So if you're going to buy the stock, I would dollar cost average into it slowly. If it breaks this area, the next area is going to be the April lows of last year, and that would be a great area to buy. So you could buy it there, or you could buy it at 348, which is down here. Either or, you could buy it in this. I would buy it from 347 to 380. That's where I'd be buying Microsoft. Spot, like Spotify. Oh, did you hear that Livewire also got into a big lawsuit for Ticketmaster? Ticketmaster is like a cartel for the advanced ticketing. I don't know if any of you ever bought tickets on Ticketmaster, but it's wild. They got sued. And then the Trump administration then squashed the whole lawsuit because the Live Nation defense team hired a consultant to wipe the whole case. I'm gonna do a video on that. It was pretty interesting to see the whole thing happen. It's really like that. 347 puts for what? 347 puts for what? This is Spotify. I mean, I'm not I don't really play this stock that much, but if you wanted to look at it, it's going to go down, Spotify. How do I know that? Because here's your big break right here of price below the 50 moving average out of structure. Here's your second indecision doji candle right after the break with red. And now you can see the momentum is now going from green to blue to red, pointing back down. And we recently have red volume. So Spotify is going to go down. I can definitely say that. We have at least until like 439 or 440. It's at 474 right now. MasterCard. I like MasterCard and Visa. You can hold this for the rest of your life. We're at a pretty good buying level for MasterCard too. That's a good pick, actually. I'm going to add MasterCard later. That was a good one. We're almost at the April lows of last year. So here's the April lows from last year. We're getting down there. You could see that price is fighting this 20 moving average the entire way, and we're just not getting there. We're fighting. We can't get it. We can't get it. Can't get above it. Can't get above it. So, that's just what's going on with it right now. But you could start buying MasterCard at this level, or you could, wait until it gets a little bit lower, like 475. But I never buy anything like with a lot of money at once. I always scale into positions. I mean, buy at 347, like you said. I don't know what we're talking about anymore. 347 for what? Puts on Ticketmaster, but I don't know. You're gonna have to DM me. I got really lost. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing charts for like, since 2012. I mean, I've been trading since 2010. I've been a financial advisor since 2012. You bought Visa at the IPO. 5K turned into 25. Oh wow, congratulations. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I mean, you could definitely do some things with that right now. I mean, I can't have a group and not be like, have, at least 15 years of chart work. Some of these little kids have like, trading groups, and they'll be like, I've been doing this for 2.5 years. And I'm like, that's an embarrassment. Why would you charge people then? For what? Like if I was learning from a nurse, I would have wanted that nurse to have like worked in a hospital or a healthcare center. You can't just call yourself a profession one day that you never were. It makes no sense to me. I'll never understand that. I just truly can't. Um, Visa is at a better entry point. I would rather go with Visa than anything else. Visa is bouncing off of these April lows from last year. So I like Visa the most right here. Yeah. I mean, I hopefully I've seen you a bunch of times now in my lives. I hope that you join the group. I mean, we go through all of this all throughout the day on a really personal night, and we do this on a more personalized level too. So I would think that would be a really good move. Oxy, I like Oxy a lot. I like Oxy. You could see all of this buying here. The problem here is that all this institutional buying, but we're too far away from the 20 moving average. We would never buy something that's that far away from the 20 moving average. If you already have it, then you would continue to hold up until about 63 or 64 or so. Then I would start to trim your position. If you have to choose one area, Amex, Visa, or MasterCard, personally, I think American Express is probably the better product. AXP, like for long term, probably. Um, but let's look, right? This also is a great entry point as well, American Express, for a long term play. You guys are coming up with good plays actually in this space. I like AXP long term, and I like Visa long term. They're all the same, but for in terms of entry points, American Express, you could get in at 288 and you could play it all the way up to nearly 400. So that could be like a 50% return if it gets back to those highs. I like Visa though, because Visa at least is at last year's uh, low point right here. And it has a good dividend too, I believe. Let's see. Yeah. So I would think Visa's the better entry. You could also see momentum is coming off the bottom. We can definitely push back up again. So I think AXP and Visa are pretty good. Anything else, guys? Went through a lot. Anyone on YouTube? Yeah, and you guys can reach out to me on with anything. You could reach out to me personally. I'll help you with whatever you're looking at or anything that you want to look at. Um, I'll be meeting with my yeah, I went over Amazon earlier, but I'll do it again real quick. I think Amazon's going to come back down to this 200 level. I'm going to let it bounce off and come back up. See, on the weekly, we rejected this level with these three huge wicks, and now we're pushing down. So I would wait for it to come back to 200, then play Amazon back up. No, you guys don't have to apologize. It's all good. I like doing this for all of you. I appreciate you guys asking questions and being interested. Really consider joining my premium group. It's only $80 for an entire month. And I do nightly sessions for an hour, 7:30 to 8:30 on what to do for the next day. I have the recordings and notes for every Zoom that I do for them. I do morning updates with them. I do beginners groups. I do office hours with them. I do in-person groups for free in New York and Florida for them. I do. Oh my God. I have a beginners instructor just for beginners to meet one on one. I meet one on one with everyone that in that group if they want. I really go all out for them, and that group now is, getting to a point where we're all on the same page, and no one ever misses any easy plays. So we have a really good track record of taking beginners and turning them into advanced traders. And then we have a little advanced group that is doing extremely well now. Um, and we all put our top plays in every week in a little section so everybody could look at everyone else's top plays. Um, but that's going to be about it. You guys can always reach out to me individually, and I'll always get back to all of you. All right, I'll see you guys for my noon session tomorrow. I always do a halftime show at noon, and I will see you guys there for a halftime update tomorrow. But I'd love to hear from all of you. Have a great rest of your weekend. Take care. Bye bye.